Oh, were you aware of a 30-pound trick that lets drivers effectively completely disappear in terms of the viewpoint of speed cameras, ULEZ zone cameras, and ANP cameras, and then obviously that means the police as well? Apparently, dodging fines and breaking the law has never been easier, thanks to these so-called ghost plates, which is something that MPs and people are talking about right now. These sneaky modifications are everywhere, and they're making the roads more dangerous for all of us. But how do they work, and what can be done about them? Well, I'll tell you what, let's get into all of that right after this.
A brown car guy. Brown car guy.
Okay, so let's talk some facts here, right? The UK road network is covered. There are loads of ANPR, which is automatic number plate recognition cameras, pretty much everywhere. They're also mobile, they're also on police cars. And these are designed for tracking vehicles, whether for speeding, whether at tolls, whether for congestion charging, ULEZ zones, and of course crime prevention as well. In theory, if you break the law, you will get caught because your car's number plate, if it's a car that you've used for breaking the law, or you are in a car whilst you're breaking the law, it will be recognized and you will get caught. But there is a thing, apparently, everybody's calling them ghost plates, which makes those cars effectively invisible to these cameras. And it's apparently ridiculously easy to do. For as little as £30, you can buy reflective sprays that basically will bounce light off the number plate so that the camera can't get a proper visual picture of it. You can get stealth covers and even plate alterations that completely baffle these ANPR systems. So these tricks, like I said, they include light reflecting sprays, and effectively what they do is they make the number plate shine too brightly under a camera's flash, so they overexpose the image so that the details can't be read. You may have seen actually some images. I'm pretty sure I've seen some images where the number plate is completely whited out. You can't read the numbers on there anymore. Also, we have obscuring films and covers. These are transparent at first glance, but you put them over there and maybe under infrared or flash photography, you can see that they actually distort the letters and they make them unreadable, or they make them something else. So for example, you might turn an E into an L or something like that. So, in fact, I'm pretty sure I've seen videos on Instagram where people have demonstrated these things. And then, of course, there's the old-fashioned method of physical alterations. So tweaking the numbers and letters to confusing the systems, turning the B into an 8, for example, or an O into a D, and then the old trick of where you place the screw head to try and change what that is supposed to be as well, whatever that letter is supposed to be. So how far-reaching is this problem? Well, it's not just a handful of criminals doing this, apparently. The scale of number plate misuse is unclear, but some estimates suggest, get this, that as many as 1 in 15 plates in the UK, on UK roads, have been modified in some way. And that accounts for what? I mean, we're talking, 40 plus million cars on the road. You think about 1 in 15. We're talking millions of cars with dodgy number plates on them. And then further to that, a police exercise in London found that, I hope you're sitting down for this one, 40%, nearly half, 40% of taxi and private hire vehicles had coatings applied to their plates, making them completely invisible or harder to read for ANPR cameras. That's, like I said, that's nearly half of those cars cheating the system. You can kind of understand the motive behind that, because these are cars in London that are probably going in and out of not just the ULEZ zone. I assume that most of them will be ULEZ compliant, but they'll be going in and out of the congestion zone as well, and of course maybe in bus lanes, etc., etc. So yeah, I mean, I can see it, but the law is the law, isn't it, right? So hey, are you liking this video? Then make sure that you hit the like button, make sure that you share, and make sure that you subscribe. So the thing is, it's not just about dodging ULEZ charges or speeding tickets. I mean, it's essentially, it's a gift. It's a free pass to dangerous drivers, to criminals, and also to uninsured motorists, if you think about it. Hit and run, getaway cars, uninsured drivers, stolen vehicles, they can all operate freely, because if they're using these number plates, the ANPR camera, which also can look out for stolen cars as well, it won't catch them, it won't track them. And at the end of the day, if you think about, well, they got away with it, or ha ha ha, it's very funny. It's not funny, because ultimately, every time something like this happens, a crime happens, or a car gets stolen, or there's a hit and run, or there's an accident, or something like that, and somebody's got away with it, then who foots the bill for the lost fines, for the law enforcement that goes into it, the costs that are attributed to that, and also the insurance rates that will go up because of increasing incidence of these sort of things? Well, that's you and me. You and me will ultimately foot the bill. Ordinary, law-abiding, tax-paying, normal people like us that are just minding our own business, driving normally, keeping our number plates as they're supposed to be. Ultimately, we will be the people that end up paying for the people that are cheating the system. So what is the penalty for doing this? Right now, if you get caught with a modified plate, you only face a fine of £100. And that's considering the fact that if you get caught speeding, I think the minimum fine is £100, but there are penalty points. So I guess where they're trading them off is like, okay, well, I still pay the £100, but I won't get the points. Don't forget, once you get enough points, you'll get your license taken away from you. And as I discussed in a recent video, which is still on the channel doing quite well, 140,000 people have had their licenses taken away from them in 2024. So by doing this, you're dodging the fines and the fees, and most importantly, the penalty points. So what's happening now? So the discussion with MPs is that they're saying that they need to push for harsher penalties for those people that are modifying their plates. And they're talking as much as £1,000 fines and 6 penalty points as well. And that will be the deterrent to go, well, you're not going to benefit from doing this because, the speeding, if that is minimum £100 and 3 points, but this would be £1,000 and 6 points. So that will, I think, put a lot of people off if that happens. But even then, some people are saying, is the punishment enough? Should we go further and ban reflective sprays entirely? Should police be doing more roadside checks? Well, I think they should. Or do we need to completely rethink number plate security? And just to touch, this is on a tangent to this a little bit, but just to touch on this, we do know that there's been a lot of number plate cloning and a lot of number plate thefts that have happened, particularly since things like ULEZ have come in, where people have basically, found the plate of another car that's similar to theirs, cloned that plate, put it onto their car, and drove around, and all the fines and everything went to the other driver. And then the onus was actually on the innocent other driver to prove that they weren't responsible for those fines, which is completely unfair, a whole lot of unnecessary hassle. And unfortunately, this has been happening quite a lot. And there was actually also a recent investigation on one of the news reports I saw on TV where they found that it was actually relatively easy to get number plates made, whereas supposedly by law, you're supposed to have evidence to prove that that's your number before you can get a number plate made. But apparently there are companies out there, you just send them your number and they'll go, right, fine, here's a number plate. So yeah, so that there needs to be a crackdown on that for a start. We shouldn't just be making illegal number plates. Anyway, would love to hear your comments. I thought I'd share this bit of news with you. Just be careful, be aware out there. Don't try and use any of these dodgy devices to try and fool these cameras, because you will get caught. And if the MPs have their way, you'll be fined and you'll end up with 6 points on your license. Make sure that, not this, but the video in general, you like, share and subscribe. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Hey guys, I've been writing. You see my 2 books there, and they're now about to be joined by a 3rd book coming out on the 1st of March. Check it out. Here it is. So go down to Amazon, check out my account, BC Guy on Amazon, and why not treat yourself to one of my books. Shout out time, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, if you enjoy my content, why not get involved? Buy me a coffee. You can do that at either of these links. Or if you're watching on YouTube, buy me a thanks or take out a membership. It all helps. It really does.